Imagine a fighter capable of taking off and landing vertically while competing with the world's best war machines. Now imagine that Russia is reviving a decades-old project to create its own sixth-generation fighter. This new aircraft would be stealthy, ultra-maneuverable, and capable of achieving hypersonic speeds, all while being equipped with cutting-edge avionics. This bold project could disrupt the balance of air power. But why is Moscow choosing today to revive the concept of the Yak-141? What challenges need to be overcome? And most importantly, does this initiative have a chance of coming to fruition? Hold on tight as we dive into the behind-the-scenes of this program that could revolutionize air combat. A historical legacy. Russia has a rich history in the development of vertical takeoff and landing VTOL aircraft, notably with the Yak-38 in the 1970s and the innovative Yak-141 project of the 1980s. According to recent reports, Moscow is seriously considering reviving this concept to design a sixth-generation fighter. Why this renewed interest? This initiative is part of a broader plan to modernize the Russian armed forces in light of the growing presence of the F-35B in Western fleets. Russia is looking to develop a serious competitor. And what better choice than an aircraft inspired by the Yak-141, a machine that, although canceled, made its mark in military aviation history and even influenced the design of the F-35B by American engineers? Back to the past. To understand the significance of this revival, let's take a step back in time. In the 1980s, the USSR faced major strategic challenges. Its naval aviation lagged significantly behind American forces. While the United States deployed the F-14 Tomcat and explored advanced flight concepts, the Soviet Navy had to settle for the Yak-38, a functional but limited VTOL aircraft. Aware of this gap, the USSR tasked the Yakovlev Design Bureau with creating a fighter capable of vertical takeoff and landing while being supersonic. Thus, the Yak-141 project was born. From the outset, this bold project aimed to revolutionize Soviet naval warfare. Unlike its predecessor, the Yak-38, the Yak-141 was to be a true air superiority fighter, ready to compete with the American F-14. Cutting-edge engineering. The Yak-141 had to overcome unprecedented technological challenges. Its innovative design incorporated a three-engine configuration: one main afterburning engine and two vertical engines dedicated to takeoff and landing. This architecture ensured sufficient thrust for a smooth transition between vertical and horizontal flight. To maximize its maneuverability, the Yak-141 was equipped with a revolutionary thrust vectoring system. Its main engine, the Soyuz R-79F300, featured a nozzle that could pivot 95 degrees, allowing the aircraft to transition between flight modes without losing stability. In terms of design, the Yak-141 stood out with its aerodynamic fuselage made from advanced composite materials, thus reducing its weight while enhancing its performance. Promising performance. In 1987, the Yak-141 made its first flight, yielding promising results. The aircraft was stable, fast, and capable of smooth transitions between vertical and horizontal flight. In 1991, it even achieved a vertical landing on an aircraft carrier, a milestone that validated the project. Unfortunately, that year, the USSR collapsed, and funding for military projects was abruptly halted. The Yak-141, though extremely promising, was abandoned, and its prototypes were relegated to museums. However, its legacy endured. Its thrust vectoring system and inclined engine inspired the development of the F-35B Lightning II, the only operational stealth VTOL fighter today. In the 1990s, Lockheed Martin even collaborated with Yakovlev to obtain data on Yak-141 testing. Why revive the Yak-141? Today, the question arises: why would Russia seek to revive this concept? Several factors illuminate this decision. First, the rise of the F-35B constitutes a threat. The United States and its allies are increasingly integrating this aircraft into their fleets, bolstering their strategic advantage at sea. Furthermore, the Russian Navy needs to modernize its capabilities. The only aircraft carrier in service, the Admiral Kuznetsov, suffers from numerous technical issues and requires a complete overhaul. Towards a promising future. To compete with modern fighters and assert dominance in the skies, a new VTOL aircraft must integrate cutting-edge technologies, ensuring superiority in stealth, speed, avionics, and firepower. Stealth will be crucial in this design, inspired by models like the Su-57 and the Su-75 Checkmate. The aircraft will need to adopt an angular structure to reduce its radar and infrared signature. A new start. As Russia attempts to reintroduce a VTOL fighter, the United States and its allies are already operating modern fleets. The F-35B has become a pillar of Western naval air operations, and Moscow is aware that developing a sixth-generation fighter could rebalance the forces involved. This new aircraft will need to be capable of supercruise, maintaining speeds above Mach 1 without resorting to afterburners. This advancement would significantly improve its range and efficiency. Conclusion. The resurrection of the Yak-141 represents an ambitious endeavor for Russia. The challenges are numerous, but the history of military aviation is filled with bold attempts and technological revolutions. The question remains, will Russia be able to turn this dream into reality? Stay tuned as we uncover upcoming developments in this captivating project that could change the landscape of air combat.